remember being in the closet and seeing the light coming through under the door, and I knew that that was my moment of they were coming to harm me.
I remember the first day someone walked in, and I went, holy cow, we're really responsible for other people's lives, and we better know what we're doing. This is one of our bedrooms, and each room is for 2 women. My name is Edee Franklin, and I'm the founder and the president of Sanctum House. And then this is a divider that in case they want privacy, this can come down and kind of give them the sense of having their own place. We don't save anybody. We give people tools to save themselves, and I think that takes a lot of onus off of me feeling like a failure when somebody doesn't do what I offer up or what we do. I mean, that's just a recovery concept in general. I can tell you these are good options for you, and if you do these, you'll probably succeed. But if you don't do them, I can't own what you don't do. We have more bedrooms down here, and then she's on the phone in there, but this is our therapy room and our med room. I was a heroin addict for 10 years, so I knew for myself, being on the streets and hanging out and being wherever I was always in harm's way. And I knew that at any time, so my identification was with people that were taken advantage of, took advantage of themselves, put themselves in harm's way, and couldn't see a way out. I never saw a way out. I mean, I ended up having to get stopped by the police. I mean, the police were my way out. Other than that, I was going to die. My family, my kids, my friend, nobody could save me. And I have a master's degree in education. I was a school teacher. I've been in the private sector and run many, many businesses of my own. I've been a realtor now for 20 years. So I had a background, and I couldn't save myself. I couldn't help myself. So when I realized that the same is true for anybody that's in a position of being under something's control, I knew that I could help and identify with these women, because the reality is I'm one of these women. And because I always say everyone walks with some sort of a limp. Some are more noticeable than others. And my identifying with them, I think, helped me to put this together and start a mission to make it happen for them.
I was pretty much born in it. My mother was in the life. By the age 4, my mother murdered her trick. And I was put with my father that was on my birth certificate. I really don't know who my father is. It was an abusive situation. By age 7, I ran away and I was put into foster care. I was molested in most of them. I ended up in Pennsylvania and was molested by protective service workers, foster homes. The last one I was in was very brutal, so me and another girl ran away. And now that I've been through therapy, I believe I was sold. I was put on a bus and sent to New York. I was 9. And I used to think I was kidnapped from a bus station, but I actually believe my first trafficker was in a bus station waiting for me. I was with them until I was 12. My second trafficker was more of a family environment. I had 9 wife-in-laws, which means there was other women in the stable. I didn't see my trafficker all that often. It was the oldest woman there that really trained me, groomed me. It was more of a family setting for me. So it was really hard for me to get out of that part of my life. Anger. That was probably the only emotion I could identify with. But now I know that I carried with me what somebody else told me I was. I was worthless, I was useless, I carried a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. I was broken, I was damaged. I had no worth of myself. I thought that's what my life was supposed to be. Where I probably figured out that something was different in my life, when I went and lived with my father and my stepmother, I had step siblings, and they used to put me in an attic. And I remember I used to pretend like I was dead, and I remember laying on the bed and pretend like who would come to my funeral. So I remember I found a pin and I poked my finger and I drew people on the wall so I could. I know now that was my way of surviving. I think that through it all, my survival skills are amazing, because I think as a little girl I found my way. Even when I was in the pornography, closets for some reason were my safe haven. I remember being in a closet and seeing the light coming through under the door, and I knew that was my moment of they were coming to harm me. So I've always found ways to manage my thinking in those predicaments. Whether it was the right way or the wrong way, it was my survival. It's not necessarily it numbs you. I didn't have to think about what was going on. I had become a mother by then. My children were actually going through the same life that I had, because I didn't know. My kids went through foster care, and drugs numbed me out. I could not get enough. I could not get enough drugs to numb my feelings.
Sometimes we get caught in this life of whatever it is that we've exposed ourselves to, and it's hypnotic. It's a hypnotic way. It's extravagant, and it's enticing, and it's, if I can use the word, sexy. It draws you in. You don't want to leave it because it's an adrenaline rush. So if you're an adrenaline junkie, this kind of life, and then you feel guilty that you really like it sometimes. I mean, here I was, I had a son, I had a mother, I had a family, I had people, I was, working every day, I had a job, and I couldn't stop using to save my life. There was no way I could stop doing what I was doing because there was the thrill of it.
I just recently got comfortable with it. It takes a long time. I've been programmed to, and when you hear somebody say program, that's what it was. I was programmed to be emotionless. I didn't know how the emotion of love. The only thing I've ever was programmed for was to use people, to manipulate people, to get whatever you can from them. Chaos. Those are the things I was addicted to. So when I got here to Sanctum House, it was complete opposite. I didn't think it was real. I thought, eventually I thought it was just going to go away. I thought it was just the initial intake process. Edie cries at a drop. I love you. I love you too. And then I said, it'll fade out. This is just going to be another program.
We've had women come in here, just broken women. People that don't see a future for themselves, don't think that they deserve anything better than what they got in their past. One of the things that I say about our women more than anything is I think this is one of the most courageous populations of people to have, number one, lived through what they've lived through, and then to be able to come out the other side and talk about it. So this is our living room, our main living room, and our dining room.
I remember one time I was here and I had just came from doing volunteer at the place that I work at now. And I remember when I was there, these women were so different from what I was. I remember I came home and I went on the back porch, and Edee's so involved with us. And I was crying, and she came out there and she says, "What is wrong?" I said, "Edee, I'll never fit in with these people. It's just, I won't fit in." She said, yes, you will. Today I do. These are good friends of mine now. She's a doctor. The volunteers that are here, they're my friends today. I feel like I belong. I belong in a society that was so foreign to me. Change was so foreign to me. It was like a foreign language. But I understand the language now. And my life's amazing. I'm living my best life today.
Yeah.
Working as a team.
Working as a team. I love my Erica.
We need to start healing people so we can get the word out. We need more people like Edee, and we need to heal more survivors, because if I was to go out in those streets and do outreach program to see where I came from and to where I'm at now, I think it would give a survivor hope. Because I know I was out there and I felt hopeless. I didn't think I could get out of it. There was no, matter of fact, I didn't pray to get out of it, I prayed to die. I'd have been shot, I'd have been sliced in my face, I'd have been stabbed with screwdrivers. I mean, it's horrific out there. It's horrific.
So they can come down here and exercise, and we do mat stuff, and so it's really great. So we have people that are qualified in self-defense and in yoga, and yoga therapists, and people that come down to help the women take care of their bodies. We had a mutual friend.
A mutual friend, and my background, this was Edee's vision, and my background is business from the corporate standpoint. So he thought we would make a good pair, because I have a lot of work on program development, process development, everything like that. So Edee had the vision, and they introduced us, and so here we are. So we've built every program, every process from scratch. We benchmarked different programs around the country and developed what I feel is really the best-in-class program as far as services for the women and helping them, survive and move on to be independent and successful.
I have rewritten my story. My ending does not have to be what I thought it was supposed to be. My ending, I'm in charge of who I am today.
Come together in unity, find your place in our Sanctum House circle. Welcome the stranger as yourself, which is really important, and that's where mentorship comes in.
When I walked into Sanctum House, first I was really uncomfortable because everybody was just so friggin' friendly. It was like, wow. Walking through, it's not an institution, it's a home, very comfortable home. My first reaction is, I don't deserve this. If people knew who I really am, they would close the doors, because but that's what I thought of myself. If they knew who I really was, they wouldn't want me in their life.
And it's about feeling freedom for yourself and considering who you are, laughing at yourself, listening to new ideas, being open. We expect people to be open, and because you're not going to, at first you're going to hear things and you're going to go, I can't do that. I don't want to do that.
Some days I wanted to walk out of here.
I think this is one of the most courageous populations of people to have, number one, lived through what they've lived through, and then to be able to come out the other side and talk about it and say, this is who I was, this is what happened to me, this is what I did, and now this is who I want to become. So we want them to find out who they are, look within, and then leave us thankfully for the opportunity.
So they listened to me. I didn't know exactly what I wanted, but I know I needed something different. So they were really open to suggestions, what was going to be good for me. And they heard me. First time in my life, somebody heard me. They heard me. And the love. The love that, I think Edee talked about. A lot of us don't know how to handle it. We don't know how to handle people loving us with all our mistakes, you know, all our, it was just new to me.
I'm just so grateful that for the women that have come through and allowed us the privilege of offering them what we have, and for them to take it to heart.
We've got to come up with a new word. I'm beyond proud. When I can see my own successes and feel successful in life and know that I have an opportunity to change lives, yeah, I'm proud.
It's unbelievable. I mean, to see what somebody looked like and felt like and believed about themselves when they walk in, and to now see them stand taller and prouder and say, wow, I never knew that this could be my life, you know? And it is. It really is. And to be a part of doing that is really, really something. It's really something. To know that you helped someone become the best that they could be. It's really cool.